Ladies and dudes, I got a genius idea of how to find a way to flesh out and develop this one important person that we did not know much in Taken, the first one. If only she could find a way to turn back to her old self. You know, the person that Bryan Mills have always known and fell in love with. I think I know one way that she could turn back to her old self again. And that is the karaoke machine. Wait, what? Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes. This is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop197. This is my review for your day. And today, I have no review, ladies and dudes. All I want to say to all my beloved YouTube friends out there who did see my latest video on Sunday, I want to thank you all for checking out that very important video that I did from 2 days ago, I guess. And I am very darn surprised it did get some very good positive views and also some very good likings and also all your great comments that you said about my 10th anniversary movie review of Taken. Man, I worked really hard on that one, even if it's one of my most hardest videos that I ever done so far in the year of 2021. So thank you all of you for checking out that very important movie review that I really want to do for this year. And I gotta tell you the truth right now. I really did enjoy my old one better because the old one is truly my most favorite video that I ever done back from 10 years ago. I did have trouble with it, but it still to this day, one of my most favorite videos of all time, period. Something that will blew me away the most from start to finish. If you guys get the picture. And now, let's go on to this very important video that I really want to do for today. And if you guys remember very carefully from both of my movie reviews of Taken, both the old and the new one, that I did found one of my major flaws that I have with this film, and that is Lenore Sin John. And we already know that Lenore Sin John deserves to be one of the most hateful movie characters of all time. And we all hate her to death for all the terrible things that she had done to both Bryan and Kim. You know, for tearing their relationship apart, and she really did screw them up big time. And, yeah, we'll never forgive her for all the terrible things that she did. You know, for hurting Bryan Mills' feelings and all that stuff, and she never cared about Kim's safety at all. And yeah, she's not a very good flesh out and well developed character. That's for sure. But I wonder if those people should have thought about fleshing her out and developing her way sooner, you know, during the time of making Taken. I mean, how to find a way to make her into a much better character than before. So yeah, from yesterday, I thought about an idea for only 2 scenes and 2 scenes only. And plus, I decided to add a little bit of a changing for the end. Yeah, some ending I really don't like in the film. I'll tell you that in a moment. But yeah, I got an idea for 2 important scenes and 2 important scenes only of how to find a way to change Lenore, Famke Janssen's character. How we're going to find a way to change her back into this other person that Bryan Mills got to know of from their past, I guess. It's hard for me to say. So yeah, I got a lot of good ideas that I got in my head. So I guess everybody wants to know, what is my two main scenes that I really want to see if this Lenore person, before she can turn back into Lenny, how the heck I'm going to find a way to flesh her out and develop her as a character so we can get to know her better. So let's go on to the two most important scenes that I want to talk to you about in this video. So the very first idea that I got in my head of how to find a way to flesh her out and develop her as a character, it will be when Lenore's heart is starting to change forever. It'll take place at that stupid house of Stuart Sin John. She cannot get any sleep at all. She still has some very bad nightmares about that Kim is still lost somewhere in Paris, France, and sadly she'll never find her in time, and she will never see her again for the rest of her life. And she just can't stop thinking about what just happened to Kim and finding out the truth that she got taken by those evil Propoya dudes. So yeah, she lost her will to eat, sleep, and taking care of herself. And she decided to go to Kim's bedroom for a little while and start thinking about some important things here and there. And yeah, we already know in Kim's bedroom, it's kind of messy, if you know what I mean. She got a whole lot of stuff that she collected too much, and that room of hers is too darn small. And while Lenore is at Kim's bedroom, she started to find something that might be very important to her. Something, okay, how should I explain this? Remember that scene in the party scene where, where Bryan and Lenore were arguing just a little bit about, Bryan just want to give Kim her birthday present, and he wants to give it to her for himself. And yeah, Lenore was being a jerk in that scene of the film, if you know what I mean. So yeah, Lenore began to find that karaoke machine thing, and I'm not sure if that karaoke machine was opened or not. If Kim did open up the box and she released the karaoke machine out of the box, and maybe she could play some music here or there. And this is where Lenore began to realize for what Bryan Mills is doing is the rightful thing. Giving Kim the very first birthday present that she ever had in her life. And this is where her heart began to change. She began to cry. She started to get upset. And this is where her cold heart had started to melt away. And she began to realize about what the heck she had done wrong by, making her loved ones suffer. And she began to realize that this whole mess is completely her fault. For all the things that did happen during the time in the beginning middle part of the first Taken movie. And then she thought about she needs to talk to Bryan Mills quickly before it's too late. So yeah, that's the first scene I want to mention, is that Lenore's heart is starting to change. And thanks to that karaoke machine, that karaoke machine did save her life somehow in some way. And now let's go on to the second scene that I want to talk about for this video, is that Bryan and Lenore, or Lenny, are going to have their first heart-to-heart talk. You know, a heart-to-heart talk that they did not have for so many years. And I really want this scene to take place, you know, where Bryan Mills is still in Paris, France, you know, continuing on his mission to find his long-lost daughter, wherever she is in Paris, France. And we will see a part where Bryan Mills is wearing that hot-looking, sexy suit with his leather jacket on his side. This is before he's going to go on to that mission of going to that, this house that says Paradise. You know, where those evil Papoya dudes live. So yeah, before he goes on to continue on his mission to find Kim, he heard a phone ring in his pocket, and he picked it up, and then he put it on his ear, and then here's Lenore, you know, still being upset and heartbroken. And let's just say she's not the same Lenore that Bryan Mills knew back from the beginning time of Taken. This is where Lenore is starting to change. You know, she wants to talk to Bryan Mills for just a couple of minutes, and a couple of minutes only. And Bryan Mills will listen to her all the way through from start to finish without being so mad and upset and all that stuff. And this is where Lenore said to Bryan that this is all my fault. I'm the one who did some bad, terrible things to you and Kim, and I didn't mean to do those terrible things to both of you. You deserve better than this. And if you pay attention to all the throwbacks that happened like in somewhere around like a couple of minutes or so, maybe like 5-6 minutes, Lenore will tell Bryan that she wished she never called him pathetic, you know, at the restaurant, and she wished she never said anything about getting to know what the world is like, and also that terrible thing that she said in the airport when she said, "Let Kim live," or I promise you'll lose her. You know, that type of terrible thing. She didn't mean to say it, though. And yeah, she began to know the truth. If Bryan Mills cannot find Kim on time in Paris, France, you know, if he'll ever find her and bring her home safely, she began to realize that it won't be Bryan who will lose her. She will lose her as well. And she should have thought about that from the very beginning. And Lenore was very darn sorry about it. But she will find a way to turn back into Lenny. And there will be a moment where Lenore finally said to Bryan, "Please don't call me Lenore anymore. Just please call me Lenny. Your Lenny. The one that you knew. The one that you fell in love with. And the one who's still missing you even to this day." And deep inside of her heart, Lenny is still feeling that she is still missing Bryan right here, right now, even to this day. And Bryan Mills will be superly pleased to hear it, for sure. That'll be the second thing I want to see, how to find a way to flesh her out and develop her character. And for the last and final scene in the movie, does everybody remember the end where Stuart Sin John showed up? Yeah, that no good loser who ruined everything for the Mills family. What will happen if the ending would have been changed? I think it would have been better if Bryan Mills' pals Sam, Casey, and Bernie should have showed up in the airport, and maybe Bryan Mills' friends will sing, he's a jolly good fellow, he's a jolly good fellow, he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can never deny. Yeah, let's scratch up Stuart Sin John for good, and let's add Bryan Mills' pals to the scene of the end of the story, so Bryan Mills can reunite with his loved ones all over again, along with his daughter Kim. So those are my greatest ideas of how to find a way to develop and flesh out this Lenore Sin John character, or find a way to turn back into Lenny. So what do you think of my ideas for the scenes of the movie? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's pretty decent? And how do you want to find a way to change Lenore back into Lenny? Well, whichever it is, leave a comment there, let me know. And I'll be back for more videos to come. So I'll see you guys later, and sayonara.